But today, fam, I want to share with you some of the things that I think is going really well in my business this year. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer this video, but I am going to talk about some things that I can improve on the next video. But this one, I'm going to tell you all the pluses that I think is going well this season. What up, fam? This is Vic from QuickCutzLawnServices Premium Lawn Care here in Conyers, Georgia. And as always, hope you guys are cutting on. So fam, let's get right into it. So how things going for me mid-season in the 2022? Well, things are better and worse at the same time. Let's get into some of the things that I like about what's going on for me this season. One thing is my onboarding process for the guys who work for me. Man, I think I ironed that out. It's really good. I got it to where I'm using Indeed, and I'm also using Google Slides to onboard my guys. So I like that compared to last year where I was learning it, you know what I'm saying? I was learning it to the point where I had to do the onboarding myself. But now that I have office assistants, it's like my spiritual mom. She definitely helps me and take the phone calls and everything. So she does all my onboarding for my guys. So people I'm hiring, and that's one of the things that's really going well for me this year. I do have a group of guys that it's, I would say, more dependable than it was for me in the last couple of years. And one of the reasons why I believe they're a little bit more dependable is because I have a guideline that I go by. I have a set up to where I am showing them exactly what it is that I am looking to do. So with that being said, you know, that's one of the important things that you gotta have. You gotta have some consistency, gotta have some onboarding, because people do right by people who look like they know what they're doing. Another thing that's kind of going well for me mid-season is that I remember sharing with you guys that I had like 200 clients at the end of last cut season, and pretty much I had lost like 50% of those clients coming into this cut season. And I thought something was really wrong, which it was. I felt like that some of the reason why the people did not return to me is because they didn't like the service. And here's one of the things that I would say. We give quotes online. So basically I use the software on Yardbook, and from that software, I trace out their property line, right? And that's how I come up with my pricing. I don't drive out to take a look at the slope and how much weeding they got to do. I pretty much give them a price. And if something changes when I get there, I will make amends and say, hey, sorry, this is what it is, blah, 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 this and that. But at least before I go out there, I have a person who already wants me to service their yard. Now, with that being said, one of the things that I did not include in my my service agreement is hedges and doing what I consider bed cleanups around the property. Like, I didn't necessarily include that as part of the service. It was an add-on service. But what we didn't do well was to communicate with the client ahead of time to let them know, hey, listen, your hedges need done. You need to pull weeds out of your flower beds. And what would happen is by the time they would ask us to do it, we will give them a price that they thought, you know, we was kind of like price gouging. And the truth be told, it wasn't price gouging. It's just like, you don't think about it until when? Until you get to June and July. And guess what? It's hot. And I have to charge you because of that heat. Same way hotels charge you on holidays. They go up on their prices. Well, I gotta go up on my prices if I'm gonna be out here doing hard back bending labor in 100 degrees weather. So what I've done this year that I think is better, I came up with a strategy to where my guys, when they go out and they see something that needs to be done, they knock on that door and ask them, hey, can I do it today? And if they don't do it that day, basically what happens, they send a note into the office, and from there, we go ahead and then send that note over to the clients to let them know. And sometimes the clients say, no, don't do it, I'll take care of it. Sometimes they'll say, yes, please. Most of the time they say, yes, please take care of it. This is what I'm thinking is gonna help me retain more clients at the end of this season than last season, because I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes we'll go out and I'll go out and take a look at some of our properties that we had, and my guys, it would be like 6 inches of like grass in the mulch bed. And I'm like, why? Well, we don't do that. You know, they didn't ask us to do. No, they don't have to ask. You ask. You the professional. Let them know that this needs to be done, so we won't be looking at this in June, July, and August where it's 100 degrees. So that's one of the things I've done. Took a more proactive approach to service than I did last year. So fam, I know a lot of times when you're trying to get that person to start services, it's hard to price everything at one time. My thing is I price the yard, that's the easiest thing to do. And then from there, it's $1.50 per minute. That's how I charge. So if something takes me 30 minutes, well, that's $30 plus half, which is 15 bucks. So it's $45 to pull weeds out of your flower bed. That's how I look at it, because if not, you know, it's kind of hard to give them the big, yeah, your yard is going to be 50 bucks, but then your flower bed is going to be another 30 bucks. They might say, no, I don't want to do $80 every 2 weeks dealing with this. So it's best to give them the price and then do the add-on, because at the end of the day, you can sell more stuff once you get your foot in the door. Something else that's really going well within the business is my service agreements. So I do offer, y'all should know this, 2 types of service agreements. That's one with the contract, one without the contract. And of course, if you're under a contract, you save money, okay? Now, if you're not under a contract, you can stop your services at any time. That benefits you. Now, sometimes clients don't read the print. They don't read it. I don't know why. It's real self-explanatory. Please take a look at it. But it's because that most cases when most lawn guys go out and cut grass, they're lawn guys. They're not looked at as a professional like True Green. So you want to make sure you have that service agreement. And so when they renege on something, you can go back to it. So I have had a few people to move, and within that, they had signed up for a contract for the rest of the year. And yes, I do charge you a cancellation fee if you're under a contract. I tell clientele, listen, I hire based upon contract clients. I don't hire based upon agreements. Now, the reason why I say that is this. If I ever get to a situation where I have to drop a client, the first client I'm gonna drop is the ones who are not under contract. Okay, they can drop me, so I can drop them. You know, situations will happen to where maybe you don't have enough guys to cover your clientele, and you gotta let some people go. So that's one of the things that is still covering my butt is my service agreements. I really encourage you guys, fam, you need to write these agreements. You need to send them out. You should not be servicing somebody's yard on a handshake or just word of mouth. They will bite you in the butt, and you'll be stuck not being able to get paid. At least on my end, I use it when they break the contract. Hey, a lot of times they will pay, because most people know how things go when it comes to cancellations. Now, I had a few people who say, hey, I didn't look at it. I am moving. I did allow them to move, and I reduced the amount of money that I charged them for breaking the contract. At the end of the day, fam, you gotta run your business like a business. Don't run it like a side hustle, because you will get hustled by these clients, or should I say customers. All right, what else going on? Great. We're doing some good stuff in the sense of my brother Darian. He is doing the training mostly now. He's not cutting the grass as much as he used to. Matter of fact, if I had to say, he's barely cutting grass. Most of it is that he's training a new guy that worked with us for the last 2 years. Now he's on a mower. So that's the person who's taking his place. So we got 3 trucks out this year and 3 crew chiefs. And we got about a good 8 people working. Now, typically the efficient truck is only 2 people, but you know, you get 3 because somebody gonna call in sick. So I tell him, look, this is supposed to be a 2-man crew, not a 3-man crew. If you got a 3-man crew, he is a spare tire. And if everyone show up to work, we're good to go. But you know how this business is. Everyone don't show up. So this is the reason why we hire more than what we need. But basically, you got to know that coming into this business. Now, if you're solo operator, I get it. But if you want to get to the point where you got some guys coming in to work for you to help move those trucks, one of the things I'm telling you got to do, you got to set up a system, and that system got to be solid enough to where you can teach someone else the same system. And right now, we're training him to be a solid crew chief. Right now, we're falling behind him every day. Yeah, that's one of the things you got to understand. You're not going to always get someone to come in who already know this job and already, unless you're paying. And I'm talking about paying good money with benefits and everything. I'm not there yet. I don't want you to think that I'm way up there. No, I'm at a place where I know I need the help, and I am learning how to bring in the help, which I just said something to you about it. But also I'm learning that at the end of the day, you need to train people professional how to train, how to cut a yard. So if you're solo and you need some help, man, that's one of the things that you want to start doing, writing this information down on how you want your yard serviced, and then be able to transfer that information over to someone who's going to work for you. Good luck in finding someone who's really good and who wants to work for you, because 9 times out of 10, if they're really good, they're going to be working for themselves. But you can train someone to become good, and one of the things that I always look for is someone who has a good attitude, and you can tell them something over and over and over again, and they don't take offense. All right. One of the things I ask people, have you ever played sports? Why? Because if you ever play sports, you're going to have a coach that's going to tell you something over and over and over again until you get it right. So that's one of the things that I know that is really working well. This year for me, we're doing more training, and we just look forward to continue to see how this works, having someone on site to supervise certain things that's going on. Fam, if you like this video, you're gonna really love this video. Click on it. It's other strategies on how to help you cut on this lawn season.